Okay, welcome. Welcome to Operations Management course. And let me just recap what we did in Chapter 2, Operations Strategy. And we learned that Operations Strategy is important because it's an impetus to overcome limitation and resource constraints and competition. I took an example of Dubai and RA Dickey, and we can talk about many other examples. So we see that strategy really enables us to overcome or surmount limitations that we are facing day to day, and that's why strategy is so important. And what is strategy? We defined it as an organizational plan, action, and policies that create sustainable advantage over competitors. And we defined this sustainable advantage as valuable and inimitable and non-substitutable advantage. And if we can create such thing, then that'll be great. And as we know, that sustainable advantage keep on changing. For example, we see Kodak going bankrupt because they could not sustain their competitive advantage. They were too late to adapt to the changing market reality. What is operation strategy? It's one of functional strategy in business. However, it's a very important part, and alignment with corporate strategy and with other functional strategies are important thing to consider. Those three things that we talked about, and quiz is due this coming Monday, so you will need to take the quiz, and there are 3 attempts that you can try. And there are practice questions on my OM Lab. They are appearing as assignment, but they don't count toward your grade. So you can, give it a try first with those questions and then take quiz. Discussion question 1 is also due this Friday. The main post has to come on this Friday, and 5 replies till this Monday. And next week, we are going to study quality management, so you can study. In regards to case 1 that will be presented next Wednesday, I want you to read the case, and I realized that it's on 13th edition of the textbook, which makes difficult for some students to read. So I posted case article on Rowan course canvas, so you can check that article out. I thought it was really good, so you can read and learn about RD and be prepared for discussion for next Wednesday. So today we are going to learn product design, and as you know, we are covering QPIC decisions, so quality decisions, process decisions, inventory decisions, and capacity decisions we are discussing. And today is product design, and after covering 2 more chapters next week, we are going to take the first exam. Okay, product and service design. So 3 topics that I have for you is the cruciality of product design and issues in product design and a house of quality. These 3 things we will discuss together. First, let's talk about the cruciality of product design. In other words, why product design matters. So I will show you, a few pictures, and I want you to think about what is in common in these pictures. The first thing is Sony Walkman. I don't know if you had it before. When I was younger in middle school and high school, I had this. And during my college years, I learned English using Walkman like that. And here is Nintendo Wii. And third one is iPod. When I came to graduate school, iPod came out for the first time on campus. And college students at the time, undergraduate students, not many graduate students, but undergraduate students were carrying iPod. That was around 2002, 3, 4. So It's been a long time. Here is Prius from Toyota. Windows 7. And lastly, iPad and iPhone. Oh. So do you find anything in common here? Anyone can share your insights.
It's all tech.
Yes, it's all technology, electronics, except for the car, Prius. What else do you see?
They're all like innovations of one another. Like you went from the Walkman to the iPod, then to like the phones and all.
Very good. Yeah, significant innovations took place with these products. Very good. Any other insight? Any other observation?
I would say, are they like the first of their kind?
Very good, Kunz.
Yeah.
Good. They are a first of its kind, right? Except for Windows 7. And I wanted to talk about Angry Birds too. Do you guys play Angry Birds? No?
Yeah, long back, like a couple of years back. But
Oh, yeah, it's addictive. My wife took the iPad out of my hand because of this. So anyway, so Kunz said it's a first of its kind. That's very good. And can anybody also tell me, it's very close now, think about the history of companies and these products. What are the correlations between the history of the company and also these products? Do you see any common thing, any correlation between them? Oh, no comments?
I'm really trying hard, but I cannot like think of something else other than what we already discussed.
None of them are like new companies. So they've all like been in the market for a while, but now they're coming out with newer and better at the time.
That's also a good observation. Yeah, although it's one of the first kind, it's not new thing, and it's been around for a long time. But let me relate these products to their history of the companies. For example, Sony Walkman. Before Sony Walkman, Sony was, a local company, a Japanese company that remained in Japan. However, one day, the Akio Morita, who was the CEO of the company, came to the United States and went to California and visited the beach shoreline there. And he saw a bunch of young guys and girls together. And he thought it was strange because some guys were dancing with huge speakers on his shoulders like that, and then dancing around and with other girls. And he thought, wow, that's strange. That's what I said. And he had this idea: what if we can, put these speakers, miniaturize these speakers, and put them into a device and let people to listen to it? That was his original idea, and he went back to Japan and talked about it, and they came up with this device called the Walkman. And the distinct characteristics of this Walkman is that you are literally able to just walk around listening to music or anything. And that's why they did that. And that was revolutionary at the time. And because of this product, Sony became a global company, right? What about Nintendo Wii? Nintendo Wii. I don't know. How many of you have Nintendo Wii at home? Okay, good, good. Many of you are having it. So before Nintendo Wii, we had Nintendo had a good games like Super Mario, which I like to play, and my children like to play too. But afterward, the competition became so severe. For example, Microsoft's PlayStation and what is it? The other one? Xbox, right? Xbox.
Contrastal.
Yep. So those things are so the competition was too severe, and Nintendo was not doing very well until they came up with this new game console, which revolutionized the game industry. So game industry is not just for children or for males only, but now, as I saw some of you, even girls and seniors and they can all play together because of Nintendo Wii, and that brought this company back to life. They were drowning, but now because of this Nintendo Wii, they survived and revived actually. And what about Toyota Prius? Toyota Prius. Before Toyota Prius, Toyota was a great company, but they were selling cheap and good car. That's how I would put it. So Toyota was, cheap and good car they are producing until they produced and launched Toyota Prius in the United States. Do you know what year they came out with Toyota Prius? They launched Toyota Prius in Japan in 1998, in the United States in 2001 and 2. Can you believe? So it's long years ago, way ahead of other companies. When GM killed EV1, electric vehicle one, GM killed it. However, Toyota came up with this hybrid car, and afterward, the perception on Toyota changed completely. It became suddenly an innovative, environmentally caring company, and which really helped them to boost their sales. And we know all the success story with Apple, the first of its kind. But what about Windows 7? Windows 7, Microsoft was doing very well. However, Windows 7 created a fiasco because it had too many bugs, and it damaged the reputation on Microsoft. It was already struggling, and Windows 7 that created a lot of crisis for the company and demarred the brand image of the company. While Apple was, taking a stride in their business, and there's not only PC, but there is a Mac. Mac is better and high quality. It's much more expensive. So all those things happened, and Microsoft was walking on downhill afterward. And what about this Finnish company, Angry Birds? And they came up with 2 movies. And a few weeks ago, I watched Angry Birds 2 with my children, and that was really funny. So this tiny company launched a very simple type of game. It's nothing. You're just throwing a bird and then breaking some things. That's a simple concept, but they made it very creative and addictive. And it has been a huge success so far. And I saw some people wearing this jersey or clothes with this Angry Birds concept. So it's been great. So let me show you this stock price trend. Nintendo is blue line, and Microsoft is green, and then Sony is red one. So if you look at this, look at Nintendo. Nintendo was struggling in 2003 till 2006, and in 2006 they launched Nintendo Wii, and from there is a high spike of stock price afterward. And then they did not have any other subsequent new and innovative products. As a result, their stock price plunged after 2012. What about Microsoft and Sony? They were doing very well up to Nintendo came up with the Nintendo Wii, and they were struggling to compete against Nintendo from then on. And they are now doing better than before. So we see how powerful it was for Nintendo to launch Nintendo Wii, the game console. Look at Apple and the rest. Apple was a nameless company until 2009. People thought, it's an okay company, not much. However, after they launched this iPod in 2005, they took off, and they came up a series with new innovative products such as iPhone and iPad, and the rest is history. Take a look at this automotive industry as well. Look at Tesla. Tesla came up with this new electric car, and recently they were able to produce it with reliability, and it just hit off the market. And look at Toyota. Toyota has been doing very well, and especially because of the success of Prius, they did very well on the market. In 2009, there was a recession. That's why it suffered, and then it came up again and doing very well. What about GM? And GM has been a great company for the United States, and it's a very important company, but the stock price tells us that they are not doing very well these days. And let me show you this video clip. So I will play it for you.
If you ask anyone what the future of cars looks like, they'll probably tell you it's electric, and that Tesla is at the forefront of the movement. But what if I told you that there's another option that could be just as good or even better than battery electric vehicles? What if you could power cars with the most abundant resource in the universe, with water as the only byproduct? And they're more likely to disrupt the auto industry than battery-powered cars, like Teslas. Hydrogen fuel cells have been a technology of great promise, as well as great skepticism. Elon Musk himself often mocks hydrogen fuel cell technology, going so far as to call them fool cells and mind-bogglingly stupid. But major automakers still see promise. First, let's define the terms. Battery electric vehicles, or BEVs, are the electric vehicles that most of us are familiar with today, like Teslas. They use a battery to store electricity and power the electric motor. A hydrogen fuel cell electric vehicle, or FCEV, like Toyota's Mirai, combines hydrogen with oxygen to produce electricity, which then powers the electric motor that drives the car. Now, when it comes to why people don't buy battery electric vehicles like Teslas, there are three main reasons. They take too long to recharge, they have a limited range before they need to be recharged, and they cost a lot more than your comparable gas-powered car. So, how do hydrogen cars stack up in these areas? When it comes to recharging, hydrogen cars have battery electric B. At a supercharging station, a Tesla can charge anywhere from 30% to 50% in 15 minutes. But you'll be at the charging station for over an hour for a full charge. Fuel cell vehicles don't require charging at all. The hydrogen tank is refilled at a hydrogen station in less than 5 minutes, just like your typical gas station today. That's because FCEVs don't store electricity like a battery. They create it on demand to power the motor. When it comes to range, hydrogen-powered cars seem to come out on top again. Between the three fuel cell vehicles on the road today, they have a range of 312, 360, and 380 miles. Most electric vehicles have a range under 250 miles. While some Tesla models offer a range of more than 300 miles, they often cost more than the average car buyer can afford. Range and refueling times are so important that 78% of automotive executives believe fuel cell vehicles will be the breakthrough for electric mobility. But that's not to say fuel cell vehicles don't have challenges of their own. FCEVs need more competitive pricing. The suggested retail price for the fuel cell vehicles available today is around $60,000, which is about $20,000 more than an entry-level BEV. That's because production size of these vehicles is incredibly low. With only a few thousand or a few hundred being made every year, it's nearly impossible for prices to be competitive, but that could soon be changing. Automakers are looking to increase the production of their FCEVs. Toyota, in particular, has increased its production capabilities tenfold to eventually bring down the cost of its Mirai. The real challenge for hydrogen fuel cells is the lack of infrastructure. In the US, the majority of hydrogen stations are in California, with just over 40 available to fuel cell owners. For FCEVs to become the breakthrough that automotive executives believe in, a vast network for hydrogen stations is vital, and automakers are slowly working to make it happen.
We do get to work together with the other automakers, as well as with, here in California, the state of California and the industrial gas suppliers or whomever the energy provider is, to be able to site hydrogen stations where it makes the most sense for all of the automakers' vehicles. And so that's to try to make sure that any investment that we make is best leveraged by all of the consumers from all of the automakers that currently offer fuel cell vehicles.
If and when fuel cell vehicles scale, Tesla will have a tough challenge on their hands. They'll have to increase range while simultaneously decreasing recharging time and price. But Teslas and any battery electric vehicles are limited because of the law of diminishing returns. Increasing the range requires a larger battery. A larger battery will add more weight to the car. After a certain point, the added weight no longer yields additional range. With FCEVs, it's just a numbers game. More hydrogen stations equal more cars, and more cars equal more affordable fuel cell vehicles. Tesla has a lock on the zero emissions market in America, controlling a whopping 60% of the EV market. But that's still only 2% of the entire US car market. And those numbers decrease when we talk about the global car market. The only thing really holding FCEVs back is infrastructure. And as hydrogen stations become more abundant, Tesla could lose the majority of the zero emissions market. For a technology that's mind-bogglingly stupid, it has serious potential to become a real competition for the very same customers that Tesla's aiming for. So, Elon might want to take notice.
So if you look at a hydrogen car right now, it's running at about $60,000, and it's quite expensive. However, because of the range is longer than electric car, it's advantageous to buy this one. So what does that mean? It means that not only just a car or SUV, but also bus or truck, they can run on this technology. And it's literally zero emission. The only thing that is produced is water after using this hydrogen and empowering your car. So that's another incentive that it sees. And what is also amazing is that Toyota is actually putting a lot of money into hydrogen. And the same with Hyundai. And so Toyota sees that hydrogen is the future of the car rather than electric car. So that says a lot about it. I think Japan is moving toward hydrogen car rather than electric car. In the United States, I'm not so sure, but there will be a competition between electric car and hydrogen car in the United States. What do you think about that? Do you guys have any idea about this competition?
I'd say another advantage that Tesla has that wasn't exactly mentioned in the video is their ability to sell directly to the consumer. They completely kind of skip over the selling aspect in regards to they don't have like car dealerships. There are a few, but in regards to like other car companies, it's much lower. So that makes the process a lot easier for the consumer, and it also saves a lot of costs just because they're marketing directly to the consumer rather than to different car dealerships.
I think that's a great point, and that's a process innovation that Tesla came up with, that they skip over the whole slew of dealership and all these hassles involved in using dealers. So that's great.
I'd also like to share something about Tesla. One thing the video talked about a lot was the inconvenience of charging your vehicle and how long that takes. Most of the time they'll have it set up at your own home where you can charge it. I mean, none of us are driving right now, and if our vehicles could be charging while, say, we're in this meeting, that's time saved. You don't have to stop somewhere else on the way to anywhere. And as far as battery and ranges go, that's something that's being constantly improved. I mean, next Tuesday, Tesla has what they call Battery Day, where they have their annual shareholder meeting. They're announcing new efficiencies in the batteries. So companies like Hyundai and Toyota are much older than Tesla, and Tesla has already caught up and surpassed them. So I wouldn't push electric cars out of the way just yet.
That's also a very good point. I also read that news that Toyota is going to hold a battery day, and there probably the words are that Elon Musk might be introducing new innovative technology about battery. And when battery technology is improved and somehow able to overcome the limitations, I think that's a game changer.
I'd say another aspect that where Tesla has a major advantage is their success after the sale. They're incredibly good at following up with people who purchase Teslas and making sure that maintenance and everything on the car is okay. And their use of interchangeable parts is pretty seamless. So it's pretty effortless for a consumer if a part of their car stops functioning to full capacity, et cetera, to be able to get that fixed pretty easily through Tesla rather than having to go through a dealership or any other holes and jumps.
Yep. I think Tesla has many advantages, especially it's a U.S. manufactured car, which is amazing, and I'm very proud of it. And there's a alternative technology competing against Tesla, and as you saw, Elon Musk saw that this car has no possibility. He saw zero hope in this hydrogen car. But somehow a company like Toyota is pursuing this direction so vigorously, and they think that this is the future. So that's why I'm bringing this to your attention, so that you may consider this one as a competitor. What if Toyota succeeds in Japan, and they prove that hydrogen is a possibility? Then it's going to be a serious contender toward Tesla later.
They've run out of hydrogen though. Like, I feel like electricity is more of an endless thing than a hydrogen per se.
Hydrogen. So another advantage that they mention is that hydrogen is unlimited. So it's more abundant. The problem is that they say it takes four times more energies than creating electricity at this point, and they are working on it to reduce that cost. But they advocate the fact that hydrogen is unlimited energy source, next to sunshine and sun, right? Sun and fossil fuel energy. Hydrogen is another source of energy. That's why they are so excited. And literally, after driving hydrogen car, what you have is just water coming out of your car, and it can double as generator for your house if in case electricity is out. So that's what they say. So why new products development? Why new product design? I would say just one reason. It's because new products is a competitive weapon for companies. So in MMA, they fight. We talked about this martial arts, and we fight with my fist and the kicks and all these martial art skills. But in business, you are actually fighting with new products. If you look at this graph, if you are industry leader like automotive industry, Tesla and GM and Toyota, about 50% of revenue comes from new products. So you see how important it is for you to compete against other companies by presenting new and good products. So it's really important for any industry leaders to do a great job in new product development. Even if it is a top third company in the industry, 30% of the revenue comes from that area. The same goes middle third and bottom third. So in whatever categories you may fall into, succeeding in new products is such an important priority for any company. And if I just illustrate the point again, here is a product with this kind of design, and it costs its tag price is $3.5, and by using product design and improving, you can make it much cheaper and easier to assemble. For example, like that, and this design decreased the price from $3.50 to $2. And lastly, you even improve it more significantly, and it's under $1. And by doing so, you can achieve competitive advantage over your competitors. And these days, we see this kind of improvement in Amazon a lot. If you go to Amazon, you type any product and you see different designs, and the design is very slight change. However, because of that design change, they are able to reduce the price and compete against their competitors. So it sells at $20, but I tweaked a little bit, and this is $18. Then Amazon buyers, they are going to buy it from this $18 product rather than $20 product, right? So we see a lot of these design aspects in Amazon. And I also want to bring your attention to this product design and cost structure. Look at this graph. First of all, this is cost committed. In other words, this is not something that you incurred yet. You did not spend yet. However, by designing a certain product in certain way, you are going to commit a lot of cost in producing that product. For example, Apple decided to use its aluminum rather than plastic. By deciding to use aluminum, they are committing more cost in producing their products, right? And that is determined largely by concept design stage, and later on, it does not really change as much. However, costs incurred are going to be quite different. In concept design stage, we are not incurring any costs. We are, however, committing cost because we are thinking of all the aspects of the products in the beginning of the stage. And the product cost will be actually incurred the most when we go into this manufacturing stage or distribution stage, and manufacturing warranty, all those costs will be significant at the time. However, ease of change, look at that. Ease of change is really easy to change in conceptual stage. However, as time goes on, as it goes to product prototyping or manufacturing, or even after distribution, it's going to be very difficult to change, and it'll be costly to change. So we can see that product design stage is going to be cheaper. However, it is determining the cost structure, and it is easy to change. As a result, the wisdom is that we spend a lot of time in design stage rather than manufacturing or distribution stage. By doing so, we can significantly lower the cost of mistakes or manufacturing or distribution itself. And this is why it is so important for us to pay attention to this concept design stage. And this is not just true to product development, but also in our lives as well. I was really surprised today to hear that Gino, he did his high school work and college work at the same time. And oh really? I have never seen a person doing college work and high school work at the same time. But somehow he designed his life in that way, at least his youth in the high school years. And then guess what? He saved like 4 years, and he's planning to finish his MBA in 4 years, right? So after 4 years of schooling, he'll be done. And I hope you are not a teenager after finishing your graduate school.
I should be 19, so.
So you'll be still a teenager?
Yes.
Oh, wow. That's mind-boggling. Anyway, so I don't know if he designed it or his parents designed it. I don't know. But anyway, what I know is that he is spending much time in designing his life and getting things done. And he has a lot of freedom to make choices. I don't know if it's the best choice, that I don't know. But what I can say is that putting a lot of thoughts in design stage, that is a wise thing to do. Okay, the second thing is the issues in product design and service design. For example, why do great new products fail, right? So as we saw, product design is such an important topic in any business. However, why do great new products fail? That's the question that we should ask. And there could be many reasons, and I want to discuss a few of them here. So if you look at this text by research by Sloan Management Review in 2017, they said out of 9,000 new products that achieved broad distribution at a national retailer, revealed that just 40% of them were still sold 3 years later. In other words, 60% of the products out of 9,000 disappeared after 3 years, and they were not constant success. And we understand that if they are electronics, but if they are not electronics, it's a surprise. And that much it's really difficult to see success with new products. 60% just fail and do not make it. And why is that the case? And there is an article called Why Great New Products Fail. That's from Schneider and Hall, Harvard Business Review in 2011. They mentioned a few of them, and I just want to introduce 3 reasons there. The first one is the product quality is short of the advertisement. If you look at Amazon or any other place, they advertise very well, and we are just bombarded by advertisements. But somehow the quality is not up to par, and you are disappointed, and customers begin to make negative comments or evaluations. Even some people make a hate page on Facebook or post YouTube videos themselves, and that's going to be a problem for the company. And the good example is Windows Vista that had many bugs. And although Microsoft made very good advertisement campaign, however, they were not successful to deliver the product quality and expectations to the customers, and as a result, it became another failure, and people are not happy, and many people just migrated into other systems such as Linux or Mac. And the second reason they talk about is the company failed to meet fast growth. So although the company's products were a success, they didn't have the capability to ramp up their production and deliver those products to the customers on time. And they took this example of a mosquito magnet, and somehow this one used CO2 to attract a lot of mosquitoes, and it was pretty, environmentally friendly and environment friendly. So they really liked that, and customers begin to order more and more. However, the company was not able to meet that demand fast enough, and because it was outsourced to other country, and they had to bring it quickly back, but they were not able to do so, and because of that, they failed. And the third reason they mentioned was the product is revolutionary, but there's no market for it, right? So it's a revolutionary feature, but it's not really, the market is not there yet. And a good example is here in Segway. And Segway was advertised a lot, and I forgot his name, a famous inventor invented this technology and product, but the market was not really responsive to their advertisement or the product itself. And I found this interesting video, so I want to share that with you.
I think it's time. Do we have to do something here, or does it does it by itself?
This is a story about Segway.
This is the world's first self-balancing human transporter. All the knowledge that went into knowing how to walk is transferred to this machine.
Upon its unveiling in 2001, the Segway human transporter's hype was similar to today's hype around Tesla, with the same message. This product is going to revolutionize transportation forever.
I believe the Segway HT will do for walking what the calculator did for pad and pencil. You'll get there quicker, you'll go further, anywhere people walk.
But then the problem, anywhere people walk. Segway was Dean Kamen's solution to an old challenge. It's called the last mile. It's the inefficiency inherent in getting from the train station to your front door, from a bus stop to your desk at work. It's the leg of your daily journey where you have no choice but to walk. Segway was finally going to make the 6 billion-year-old act of walking better. So why didn't it? What happened to the company some said was going to be bigger than the internet?
I made some pretty bold predictions about Segway that were wrong. I said it'd be the fastest company to $1 billion in revenue ever. And of course,
by 2007, Segway's personal transporters had only met a mere 1% of their original projected sales. Along with a hefty $5,000 price tag, sales of the Segway PT were hurt by yet another problem.
People look at the Segway and it's like, oh, you're a geek.
Simply put, the Segway PT just wasn't cool.
The body of the British man who liked the Segway so much he bought the company was found, along with his machine, in this river near his home in northern England.
The owner of Segway, the company, dying on a Segway was both a tragedy and a PR nightmare. Shortly afterwards, medical researchers noticed a growing trend. Severe Segway-related injuries were on the rise. After that, Segways were relegated to the realm of mall cops and tourists. The company's mission to change the future of transportation had failed. But when all hope was lost, Segway got another chance.
Now, Segway has been acquired by its Chinese rival Ninebot.
Chinese scooter maker Ninebot bought the company.
The benefit to Segway immediately is it gives us better access to the Chinese market.
Suddenly, Segway was an integral part of a newer movement in mobility, electric scooter sharing. It's a market that could reach nearly $30 billion by 2025. Segway's new parent company, Ninebot, is one of two leading scooter suppliers for growing companies like Lime and Bird that in turn are deploying them on city streets across the globe. But when you get down to it, Lime, Bird, and Ninebot are still trying to solve the same problem Segway was back in 2001.
The last mile is the problem, and half the world now lives in dense cities. And people spend, depending on who they are, between 90 and 95% of their energy getting around on foot. This one is set to about 12 miles an hour, which is 4 times walking speed. So what used to take you a half an hour, take you 7, 8 minutes.
The hope was that we would change the world. And now, perhaps if the world has changed and it wasn't changed by us, that would have been okay. It's much less, I think, ultimately about who does it, and more about the fact that it's being done.
Segway, if you look in the dictionary, says a smooth transition from one position or idea to another. And this is a nice way to go from one place to another, and it is an idea.
Okay, so we see that the Segway I think it's a great idea. However, somehow they have marketing failures and a series of unfortunate events, and we were not able to carry their promise to the customers very convincingly. And customers just do not buy it. Although it's a great product, sometimes it just does not work. It can be out of our control sometimes. So those are the issues that we experience in new product development. So although you might have a great product, you might not be a great seller. Now the third topic is household quality. Household quality is called QFD. It's a quality function deployment. That's what we call QFD, but we go by HOQ, House of Quality, because it's easier to understand. And it has these boxes, and it looks like just house, right? And it has a few important parts that we use in using this tool. The first thing is what the customer wants. Segway was great, however, the customers were not really buying it, reacting to it, and I wonder why they really created it. They thought if they create it, there will be a market, just like iPod. However, that was not the case for Segway. I wonder what the difference between they are. And the second thing that we want to see is how to satisfy these customers' wants. So finding these customers' wants is very important. Then we go to how to satisfy customers' wants, and engineering characteristics will come upon this area. And then we are going to see the relationship between engineering characteristics and customers' wants together and see how they are related. And then we also see the interrelationships amongst these engineering characteristics. And we want to see how the competitors are positioned in the market in terms of these characteristics and compare them together. And then what are the target values and how we are achieving that will be compared together. So in a nutshell, House of Quality shows us and helps us to understand the snapshot of the requirements and their matchups with engineering characteristics. So let me take an example. Say we are going to make a digital camera. Then what happens? We draw a house of quality like that and begin to fill out what customers are needed. For example, say you go to the market and talk with the customers, or you go to professors or technicians or people who are advanced in technology and hear what is the important thing that we need to consider when making a digital camera anew. And they say, yeah, lightweight is very important, or easy to use characteristic has to be there, and the reliability and easy to hold and color correction selection or color correction capabilities are good and important characteristics that we need to have. And then you want to give which one is the most important for the customers. And then you determine that and say, reliability is the most important one, that we give the weight of 5 to the reliability, and easy to use the next one, and then 4. And in the same way, lightweight and easy to hold steady and color correction come into next. And so we have different characteristics filled out. Then you have to think about now how to build this kind of digital camera. And these are the engineering characteristics that we have to equip ourselves with. The first thing is low electricity requirements so that it can be reliable and it can last long. What about aluminum component? Aluminum component is related to lightweight. That's why they make it. Or it could be plastic, right? Or we can use autofocus. That's for easy to use characteristics. So easy to use, they are over here. And then auto exposure, again, easy to use one. And paint palette is for color correction. And ergonomic design is just easy to use characteristics. So you come up with these engineering characteristics and see how these are related to the customer's wants. So this dot means low relationship, and the circle is a medium relationship. Circle with this another orange dot means strong relationship. So you put those relationships together. So by looking at this, oh wow, I see ergonomic design is strongly related to easy to hold steady. However, the empty thing shows that there is nothing to do with these characteristics and customer wants. So you can visually understand the relationship amongst these characteristics. And on the roof, you see interrelationship between engineering characteristics. For example, low electricity requirements is strongly related to autofocus. However, it has no relationship with aluminum components, right? Low electricity and aluminum components, they have nothing to do with each other. And it has a strong relationship with auto exposure. So by looking at this, you see that low electricity is quite related to 3 characteristics, strongly related with them: autofocus, auto exposure, and paint palette. However, ergonomic design, it has nothing to do with the rest of the engineering characteristics. So you can tell again visually what the interrelationships are. And here, this part, you have to work on the benchmarking, or market intelligence, how they are doing. That can be written here. And then here are our targets, and we can see how much we are meeting. That will be written here, and technical evaluation can be also written here. So as a result, what happens is that by completing everything, you see where our products are standing in comparison to customers and the companies like this, company ABC, good standing, poor standing, fair standing, those things we can see. So it's really helpful for us to the snapshot of the products. And also, encourage the collaboration between marketing department, and engineering department, production department, and market intelligence department. All together, they can work on this quality function deployment. And here is the completed version of quality function deployment. And target values are over here, and they can tell whether they are meeting it or not. And technical evaluation, 0.7, 0.6, 60% yes or no. Everything can be indicated here. So it can be a simple tool which encourages collaboration and understands the status of the product. So here's the sequence again. You want to find out the customer requirement first, and then in engineering characteristics. And then you want to go through reiteration with the engineering department or marketing department or market research or production departments, and go through the reiterations a few times until you get to the point where, yeah, I think this is the status that we can compete against other products on the market if we do this, right? So that kind of conclusion you get until by going through these reiteration processes. So here is another example of a bike, and this one I would like to do it together. So look at here. We have so this is fictitious example, and you did you did a customer's research, and you found that these are important characteristics. We have only 6 of them right now here, but it could be a little longer than that. Like you could have 10 or 20 customers once, and you might want to boil them down into 10 of them or 5 of them, and that has to be done in advance with your marketing department. And they say, easy to pedal, strong and durable, fast acceleration, low cost, and looks nice. Those are important things. And you want to give the weight, such as strong and durable is the most important one. Aesthetic is not that important. It's 10. So you give the points over there, and you see the priority of the ones. And then to meet that requirements, what are the things that we need to do? And we need to determine number of gears and bicycle weight and strength of frames and cruising speed and coats of paint. Those things need to be determined, and I'm sure that there are a lot more engineering characteristics than this, but let's say we found 5 of them, and you see the interrelationships amongst these engineering characteristics, such as number of gears has a strong relationship with cruising speed, but negative relationship between bicycle weight and cruising speed. And you do also research about company 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and their perceptions are written here. Our bike stands here in terms of easy to pedal, it's strongest. However, it's the least in terms of durability. However, you are ahead in the market, fast acceleration, but cost is it's more expensive than the others, right? So you can see the position that your product is in the market, and then you evaluate them together. And what's your target? You show them and present it to your operations or production or CEO and make an approval and make the changes. So that's the beauty of quality function deployed or household quality. So we learned today that we have to excel in new product development because it is a competitive weapon. We are fighting with our new products, and 50% of sales coming from new product if you are industry leaders. And for this reason, you have to constantly strive to come up with new and good products. And we also thought about issues in product development, and we can say that although great products come out because its quality is not up to par, or you don't have the customers for the market, or you are not able to ramp up the production scale, you fail. Those things we talked about. And the last thing was of a household quality. And I would like to do this class exercise together as a group today. And I'm having a difficult time to find a way to do breakout sessions on WebEx. I know how to do it on Zoom, but I learned that on WebEx we can only do teleconferencing. So I was a little bit disappointed. I'm hoping that we'll be able to video conferencing, even if we do this use WebEx. So we'll have to see. If it does not happen, then I will switch to Zoom. So anyway, here is the question. The question is, you are going to design a bag, right? A backpack, and you want to redesign it and make it very innovative. And to do that, you want to use household quality and try to come up with the top 5 customer wants and prioritize by giving different weights. And then to meet that customer wants, what kind of engineering characteristics do we need to have? So you also want to come up with 5 top engineering characteristics and try to draw the interrelationship together and position yourself as a fictitious company and try to compare that with other companies like North Face, or there are many other companies out there, and try to see how to compare with them. So at this point, I want you to meet with your team members. It could be GroupMe or it could be Google Meet or whatever you choose. Try to discuss with your team members and complete household quality. And maybe you can show it to me. You can share the final product with us. Maybe you can post it on the discussion board on Canvas. That might be easier, because if you are taking a picture and putting it there, that'll be easier. So you will need to draw first quality. So this kind of household quality, right? So you will draw that yourself and do it. If I was teaching in class, I would have given you a blank template so that you can do it. But online, it's kind of difficult for me to do so. So please understand and go ahead and build this household quality amongst yourself as a group.
Do you want us to draw it? Is that what we're working on?
Yeah, you need to draw it and show the interrelationships.
Okay.
Are those attributes listed in importance on the slide?
What is your question again?
Are they listed in importance, or are we determining what the importance is?
Oh yeah, you have to determine the importance yourself. So for example, here in this case, they determined low cost was the most important thing. But in your case, say, you are competing against North Face and you are going to make it more expensive than North Face, and you are positioning it in your own marketing strategy or production strategy. So think of it as a company that is competing against a certain company. It could be Genspot or North Face. And how I'm going to position it, make it happen, and those interrelationships have to be shown here. And your group can post the finer work on course discussion called FYI for your information. I created that 2 days ago, so you can post your work there with a short note. That would be helpful for us to see your work there.